Hi, I'm Richard Kateley. I've worked in the insurance industry for 33 years at Legal & General. The last 8 years talking to advisors about selling protection and the importance of it. And I've always learning about new sales ideas, and I thought I might share this one with you, which I got from Andy Walton, which I think is a great one, and it's probably one of the most favourite ones we did when we did our sales masterclass workshops. And it's basically for any of you that are doing mortgages and you don't quite know the best way of introducing protection, and especially income protection, because I always found it amazing that if we're talking to mortgage clients, we spend hours trying to prove their income. And then once we've got the mortgage, we forget about the one thing that got them the mortgage in the first place, i.e. their income, and we should insure it. And so for me, income protection is most important, but we need to introduce protection at some point within the mortgage sale process. And one of the really good ways of doing it, if you haven't done it at the start of the process, is when you get down to that warning that is on all mortgage application forms. You know, the one that says, if you don't keep up repayments, you could lose your home. Now, at that point, it's really good just to stop and use that as a sales line and actually say to the clients, okay, this is a really important message which I have to give you. It's a warning. If you don't keep up repayments, you could lose your home. Now, is there any reason why you think you might not be able to keep up repayments with that mortgage? And then just shut up and take a pad and then write a number 1 and a bracket on it and wait for the client. They then know that you're expecting a list from them. A list of reasons why they think that they can't keep up repayments. Not why you think they might not, but why they. They're now going through a process in their head to think about, why can't I keep up repayments? What might happen? And if they don't think of anything, then you can prompt them. But when they do, try and elaborate on the issue. So they might say, well, I might lose my job. And say, yeah, that's quite right. You could lose your job, but presumably you're quite good at your job. And if you did lose your job, how long do you think it would take you to find another one? 1 month, 2 months? Okay, so we've got a short-term savings issue there. Let's put that down on the list because it's really important. What next? What other things might you have for not keeping up repayments on your mortgage? They might say death, and you say, yep, death could happen, and that's a really nuclear one, isn't it? Because if you were to die or your partner was to die, then that's going to be a big issue. So let's put that down on the list, and we need to think about that. What other reasons? And they might come up with 1 or 2, but they might say, well, I might have a long-term illness. Exactly, you might have a long-term illness. And at this point, you need to make it personal to them and say, do you know anybody that's ever had that issue that hasn't been able to work for a while because they've been ill? If it was me, I had a really good friend of mine, Peter, who had motor neuron disease. And so immediately when I'm thinking about this, I've now got Peter's face in my head and I'm thinking, yeah, it can happen. It's not some theoretical issue. So you put that down on the list. They might say, we could get cancer or something like that. Yep, that's very true. Again, do you know anybody that's had that? And try again to make it very personal to them so they're starting to think about people in their own minds. And then once you come up with that list, you say, right, that's great. We've got death, we've got, you might lose your job due to redundancy, ill health, critical illness. I've got a few options here which I might be able to help you with to make sure we mitigate some of those risks. You've already got the client into thinking about protection. You haven't raised the issue. They've raised their concerns about things they think might not or might lead to them not being able to pay their mortgage off or keep up with the payments. All you're doing now is trying to mitigate those issues for them by hopefully putting some protection in place, whether it's income protection, critical illness, life assurance. So you can see how you can use that very simple warning on a mortgage application form as a real good inroad into talking to your clients about the need of protection. Well, I hope that little idea has given you a food for thought, and I hope to speak to you soon. Take care.